Welcome to Hypnos Cosmos. Settle yourself now, and let your body grow comfortable and still. There is nowhere you need to be tonight, and nothing you need to do. Tonight we are going to travel to another galaxy. Not past it, and not around it, into it. All the way to Andromeda, our nearest great neighbor, our sister among the galaxies, 2.5 million light-years across the dark. And we will go slowly, and gently, and there is no hurry at all, because the whole point of the journey is the drifting, and the quiet, and the sleep that waits for you at the end of it. So let us begin with a breath. Breathe in, slowly, and let it fill you without effort. And breathe out, and let the day go with it. Breathe in again, gently. And out. And feel your shoulders soften and sink a little deeper into the bed. There is no right way to breathe. Simply let it come and go on its own, like the tide, like something that has always known what to do. Feel the weight of your body now, held and carried. Feel the pillow beneath your head, the covers warm across you, the soft and faithful earth beneath it all, turning slowly through the night, carrying you along as it has every night of your life. You are safe here. You are held. Let your eyes close, if they have not already. And now, behind your closed eyes, let a picture begin to form. It is a clear night, the clearest you have ever known, and you are lying somewhere far from any town, far from any light, under a sky so dark that the stars are thick as spilled salt across it. And high above you, in the northern part of that sky, there is a faint and misty little smudge. Not a star. Something softer than a star. A small pale blur, no brighter than a breath on cold glass, that you would miss entirely unless someone had told you where to look. Look at it now. Let your eyes rest on it. That soft little smudge, so faint you can almost only see it by looking slightly to one side of it. It seems like nothing at all, or a wisp, a flaw in the sky, a bit of cloud that will not drift away. For thousands of years, everyone who ever looked up at it thought exactly that. A little cloud. A nebula. Something small and near and unremarkable. But it is not small. And it is not near. That faint little smudge, so dim you can hardly hold it in your gaze, is the single most distant thing that human eyes can see without any help at all. It is not a cloud. It is not in our galaxy. It is another galaxy, an entire island of 1 trillion suns, turning slowly in the dark, so unimaginably far away that its light has been traveling toward you for 2.5 million years, and only tonight, at last, has it arrived, and entered your eye, and become that small soft blur. Think of that, gently. The light landing on you right now, this very moment, left Andromeda 2.5 million years ago. It set out when there were no cities anywhere on Earth, no farms, no writing, no wheels. It set out before there was anyone who would have called themselves human at all. It crossed the dark all through the long ages while our ancestors learned to walk, and to speak, and to make fire, and to build, and to wonder. The whole story of us, beginning to end, happened while that light was in flight. And now it has finished its journey, and it ends here, on you, on your eye, on this quiet night. You are the reason it traveled. You are where it was going. And it has a name, that smudge, and the name is older than anything we know about it. It is called Andromeda because of where it sits in the sky, inside a pattern of stars that the old Greeks saw as a woman chained to a rock at the edge of the sea. She was a princess in the story, offered up to a monster to save her city, left alone on the shore to wait for something terrible to come out of the water. And she was rescued, in the end, and set among the stars, where she has been ever since, a scattering of faint lights in the northern sky, in the shape of a figure with her arms outstretched. The people who named her had no idea. Of course they did not. They looked up and saw a woman, and near her hip a small soft smudge that they took for a little cloud, and they told their story, and went to sleep. And the smudge they never thought twice about was 1,000,000,000,000 suns, and their whole world, and every world, and the whole of everything they could see, was one grain of light in a different galaxy entirely. That is what makes it lovely, I think. Not that they were wrong, but that they looked. That people have been lying in fields staring at this exact smudge of light for thousands of years, in every century, in every country, under the same sky you are under tonight. The Persian astronomer who first wrote it down 1,000 years ago and called it the Little Cloud. The old sky watchers who mapped it. The ones who argued about it 100 years ago and did not live to learn the answer. Everyone who ever glanced up on a cold, clear night and noticed, without knowing why, that one faint patch of the dark seemed softer than the rest. All of them were looking at the same light. The light that left Andromeda 2.5 million years ago has been arriving, continuously, this whole time, on every one of them, on the Greeks, on the Persians, on the first people who ever walked out of Africa and looked up, and now it is arriving on you. The same stream. The same photons pouring out of the same 1,000,000,000,000 suns, endlessly, night after night, landing on whoever happens to be looking. You are the latest person in a very long line of people who have lain in the dark and looked at that smudge. Almost all of them had no idea what it was. You do. And in a way that hardly matters at all, because the thing that matters is the looking, and the wondering, and the quiet, and that part has not changed in 10,000 years. And tonight, we are going to travel back along it. We're going to follow that light home. So begin to rise. Gently, without effort, the way you sometimes lift at the very edge of sleep. The ground loosens its hold on you. You grow lighter than the air itself, and you begin to float upward, slowly, through the cool night, up toward that little smudge of light. The trees fall away below you. The field, the hills, the dark shapes of the land, all of it grows small and quiet and distant. Below you now, the earth begins to curve, and to darken, and to glow. The lights of distant towns gather into small pools of gold. The great dark ocean spread out, catching the moonlight in long silver ribbons. And at the edge of the world you can see the thin blue line of the air, that soft and fragile shell that holds every breath ever taken, so thin against the vastness that it seems impossible it could hold anything at all. And yet it has held everything. It has held all of us, always. Up, and further up, and the sky above turns from blue to black, the deep, clear, unblinking black of space. And the earth becomes a sphere below you, a blue and white and slowly turning, wrapped in its rivers of cloud, glowing softly with its own gentle light. Your whole world. Everyone you have ever loved. Every story ever told. All of it there, on that one blue sphere, growing smaller now beneath you, carrying on quietly without you for a little while. Say a soft goodbye to it. We will be gone a long way tonight. But we will come back, we always come back, and it will be waiting exactly where we left it, turning patiently in the dark. Up and out we drift, past the pale grey moon, keeping its silent watch. Past the small inner worlds, past the great golden fire of the sun, which shrinks, as we rise, from a blazing furnace to a bright bead to a single brilliant star, no different from the rest. Past the giant planets, past ringed Saturn catching the last of the light, past the frozen dark of the outer worlds, past the great shell of comets at the very edge of the sun's long reach. And out, at last, into the deep space between the stars. But we do not stop among the stars tonight. We rise straight up through them, up and up, out of the flat crowded plain where they are thickest, higher and higher, until they begin to thin, and spread, and fall away below us. And then, turn. Turn, and look back down. And there it is. Our galaxy. The Milky Way. Spread out below you now, entire, seen whole for the first and only time. It is a great turning wheel of light, an immense slow spiral, its arms sweeping out from a glowing golden heart and winding round and round, wider than any thought can hold. 400 billion suns. Every star you have ever seen, every star anyone has ever seen, every star that has ever been named or wished upon, all of them in that one vast wheel below you, blurred together into rivers and reefs of soft light. The dark lanes of dust wind between the arms like slow rivers. The great star nurseries glow pink and gold along the spiral edges. And it all turns, slowly, majestically, silently, in the dark. And somewhere down there, you could never find it, not in 1,000 years of looking, is a small yellow star in a quiet spur of one modest arm, 2/3 of the way out toward the rim. And around that star, a small blue world. And on that world, a bed, and a quiet room, and a body lying still, and breathing slowly, and beginning now to fall asleep. Everything you have ever known is one invisible grain of light in that great wheel. And it is beautiful from up here. And it is so very small. Now turn away from it. Turn, and face the dark. And there, ahead of us in the emptiness, is our destination, no longer a faint smudge now, but a soft oval glow, small but clear, hanging alone in all that blackness. Andromeda. Waiting. 2.5 million light-years away. And between us and it, nothing. Nothing at all. Let us begin the crossing. And here, at the very start of it, is the thing that no picture of the heavens ever tells you honestly. The space between the galaxies is empty. Not sparse. Not quiet. Empty, in a way that nothing in all your experience has prepared you for. Within a galaxy, at least, there are stars, they are unimaginably far apart, but they are there, scattered through the dark like distant lighthouses. Out here, between the galaxies, there are none. No stars. No worlds. No dust to speak of. Only the dark, and the two faint glowing islands, the one behind us, the one ahead, and an ocean of nothing stretched between them so wide that the mind simply lets go of it. If you took our entire Milky Way, that vast wheel of 400 billion suns, 100,000 light-years across, and you set it down in this gulf, you would need to lay 25 of them end to end, edge to edge, to bridge the gap between us and Andromeda. 25 galaxies, laid in a row, just to span the emptiness. That is the crossing we are making tonight. So let yourself settle into it. Let yourself drift. There is nothing to look at out here, and that is exactly the gift of it. There is nothing coming. Nothing to watch for. Nothing that needs you. The dark is soft and cool and endless in every direction, and you are moving through it without effort, without sound, without any sense of speed at all, only the two galaxies, one slowly shrinking behind you, one slowly growing ahead, to tell you that you are moving at all. Look behind you once more, as we go. The Milky Way is smaller now. It has shrunk from a great wheel filling half the sky to something you could cover with your outstretched hand. And it goes on shrinking, slowly, as the hours drift by. All those 400 billion suns gathering themselves into a single soft spiral of light. All that history. All that fire. Growing small and pale and quiet behind you in the dark. And ahead, Andromeda is growing. Slowly at first, so slowly you cannot be sure. A soft oval of light, a little larger than it was. A little brighter. A little more real. And let us think, softly, about the time of it, because time is the strange part out here, stranger than the distance. If you set out from Earth in the fastest thing we have ever built, one of those small machines that took decades merely to leave the Sun's family, and you pointed it at Andromeda and let it run, it would take some 50 billion years to arrive. 50 billion. The universe itself is not yet 14 billion years old. The journey would take more than 3 times the age of everything, and by the time it arrived the galaxy would not be there anymore, it would have long since merged with our own, and the whole map would be different. Even light, the swiftest thing there is, needs 2.5 million years. There is no crossing this gulf. Not by us, not by anything, not ever. It is not a matter of engineering or patience or cleverness. The distance is simply larger than the possibility of going. And yet, here you are, drifting across it, tonight, in the dark behind your eyes, at whatever speed you please, in perfect comfort, in a warm bed, breathing slowly. The only way anyone will ever make this journey is exactly the way you are making it now, by lying still, and letting the mind go where the body never can. That is not a lesser way to travel. In some ways it is the only real one. Nothing built of metal will ever stand where you are standing tonight. No eye but yours will ever look at Andromeda from the inside. The light came all this way to reach us, and this drifting, this imagining, this quiet attention in a dark room, is the only place it was ever going to arrive. So let the impossibility of it be restful rather than sad. There is nowhere you have to get to. There is nothing to achieve out here. You could not go faster if you wanted to, and you do not want to, and it does not matter, because the whole point was never the arriving. This is the long middle of the journey, and I want you to let it be long. Do not hurry through it. This emptiness is not a thing to be crossed and forgotten, it is the deepest silence there is, and there is nothing in all creation more restful. Consider, out here, in the true intergalactic dark, if you held out your hand, the nearest atom might be a meter away, and the one after that another meter beyond. This space is emptier than the finest vacuum anyone has ever made on Earth, emptier by far. There is no wind here. There is no sound, and there never has been, and there never will be. There is no light except the faint far glow of galaxies, too dim to cast a shadow. Nothing has ever happened here. Nothing ever will. And it is perfectly, utterly safe. There is nothing out here that could ever find you, or reach you, or want anything from you. You are drifting through the emptiest, quietest, stillest place that exists, wrapped in a dark that is soft as wool, carried onward with no more effort than a leaf on slow water. Let it hold you. Let the enormous silence settle over you like a blanket. Feel your body grow a little heavier as we drift. Feel the last of the day's noise finally, completely, fall away, because out here there is nothing left to be noisy about. Breathe in, slowly. And out. And drift. And let me say something about this emptiness that I think is worth carrying with you. We have a habit, on Earth, of thinking of empty as a failure. An empty room is a room missing its furniture. An empty day is a day that did not get filled. An empty page is a reproach. We spend a great deal of our lives trying to put things into empty spaces, as though emptiness were a problem that we had been asked to solve. But out here, emptiness is the ordinary state of things. It is not the exception, it is the rule. The universe is almost entirely empty, and always has been, and it is not suffering. This gulf we are crossing, 25 galaxies wide, without a single star in it, is not a mistake, or a gap, or something waiting to be filled. It is simply what most of the universe is. The stars and the galaxies and the worlds are the strange part. The rare part. The exception. All the rest, in every direction, forever, is this, quiet, dark, spacious, and utterly at ease with itself. And it is not lonely. That is the thing. It looks lonely from a distance, that is our word for it, our feeling about it. But out here there is nothing that could be lonely, and nothing that is missing, and nothing that wishes it were otherwise. It is just space, being space, doing exactly what it has done for 13 billion years, which is nothing at all, beautifully. So let the empty parts of tonight be like that. The quiet in the room. The dark behind your eyes. The gap between one thought and the next, when nothing in particular is happening. Those are not places where something should be. They are the ordinary state of things, and they are restful, and they are enough. You do not have to fill anything tonight. You are allowed to be as empty as the space between the galaxies. It is the most natural condition in the universe. Breathe in and out, and drift through the middle of all that nothing, and let it be kind. We are crossing a gulf tonight that light itself needs 2.5 million years to cross. And yet look how gentle it is. Look how unhurried. The universe is in no rush at all. Out here, it has all the time there ever was. And so do you. There is nothing waiting for you tonight. There is nowhere you must arrive. There is only the drifting, and the dark, and the slow soft growing of that faint oval light ahead. And here is something else about this emptiness, something worth holding gently as we cross it. It is not truly empty at all. It only looks empty. There is nothing here you could see, nothing you could touch, nothing that would ever register on any eye. And yet this gulf we are crossing, and the galaxies at either end of it, and the whole universe besides, is filled with something we cannot see and do not understand. We call it dark matter, which is a way of admitting we do not know what it is. We know it is there because we can feel its weight. When astronomers measured how fast the outer stars of Andromeda were going around, and how fast our own stars go around, and every other galaxies, the numbers came out wrong. Wildly wrong. The outer stars were sweeping around far too quickly. At those speeds, with only the visible stars and gas to hold them, they should have been flung off into the dark long ago, and every galaxy in the universe should have come apart billions of years ago. But they did not come apart. They are still turning, perfectly stable, exactly as they have for 10 billion years. And so there must be something else holding them, something heavy, something enormous, something that gives out no light at all. Every galaxy sits inside a vast invisible halo of it, far larger than the galaxy itself, far heavier than all its stars put together. Andromeda's visible disk, that great trillion sun wheel we are drifting toward, is only the bright little center of something much bigger and entirely invisible, like a candle at the heart of a dark cathedral. And we are drifting through it right now. It is all around you, in this moment. It has been all along. It passes through your body without touching it, without any effect at all. It does not shine, it does not block light, it does not push, it does nothing whatsoever except pull, very gently, with its weight. It makes up most of the matter in the universe. There is 5 times more of it than there is of everything you have ever seen or touched or been. Every star, every world, every galaxy, every atom of your body, all the ordinary matter in all creation, is a small bright froth floating on a vast dark ocean that nobody has ever seen. And nobody knows what it is. That is the honest answer. We have looked for it, carefully, for decades, deep underground, in great machines, in the sky, and it has not shown itself. It is simply there, enormous and silent and everywhere, holding the galaxies together, keeping the stars from flying apart, doing its quiet work in the dark, and asking nothing, and telling us nothing. Let that be restful rather than unsettling. The universe is mostly a thing we have not met. Almost everything is a mystery, still, even now, even after everything we have learned. And it does not matter at all. It has been doing its work perfectly well without our understanding for 13 billion years, holding this galaxy and that one and all of them steady in the dark, and it will go on doing it tonight, while you sleep, whether anyone ever works out what it is or not. You are drifting through an invisible ocean, held in an invisible hand, and it is the gentlest thing in the universe. It touches nothing, and it holds everything. And as we drift, let me tell you what we are drifting toward. Andromeda is old. It is older than our Sun by a very long way. It began to gather itself out of the young universe's gas some 10 billion years ago, when everything was new and hot and crowded, long before our Sun had even begun to think about being born. It has been turning ever since, slowly and patiently, through all the ages. When the first single cell stirred in Earth's warm seas, Andromeda was already ancient. When the dinosaurs walked, Andromeda had already turned its great wheel a dozen times more. It does not know we exist. It has never known. It has simply been turning, out here in the dark, minding its own vast and quiet business, for 10,000 million years. And it is larger than us. That is the thing people rarely say. We think of Andromeda as our twin, our sister, our equal, and in shape, in kind, in beauty, it is. But it is bigger. Its great disk spans perhaps 200,000 light-years, twice the width of our own Milky Way. And where our galaxy holds 400 billion stars, Andromeda holds perhaps 1 trillion. 1,000 billion suns. More than twice our number, spread across twice our width, turning in the dark, and every one of them a star, and a great many of them with worlds. We are traveling to the largest thing in our whole neighborhood. The grandest galaxy in the local group. Our great elder sister, out here in the dark, waiting. And it is coming toward us. Even now. Even as we drift toward it, it is drifting toward us, the two great galaxies falling slowly together across the emptiness, drawn by the long patient pull of their own gravity, closing the gap between them a little more with every passing moment. We are not merely visiting Andromeda tonight. We are meeting it halfway. But we will come to that at the end of the journey, when the time is right, and by then you will very likely be asleep. For now, simply drift. The Milky Way is a small soft coin of light behind you. Andromeda is a growing oval glow ahead. And all around, in every direction, forever, the deep, kind, endless dark. And we are not entirely alone out here, in the Gulf. Let me show you the neighborhood. Our two great galaxies, ours and Andromeda, are not simply two strangers drifting in an infinite dark. They belong to something. They are the two largest members of a small, quiet family of galaxies, all bound together by their own gravity, all drifting together through the greater emptiness beyond. Astronomers call it the local group. It is our address, at the largest scale that an address can mean. It is not a crowded place. The local group holds perhaps 80 galaxies, spread across 10 million light-years of dark, but nearly all of them are small. Faint dwarf galaxies, little smudges of a few million stars, drifting along beside the big ones like ducklings. Two of them hang close beside our own Milky Way, the Magellanic Clouds, soft ragged patches of light visible from the southern half of the Earth on dark nights, slowly being pulled apart by our galaxy's grip, their stars drawn out into a long stream across our sky. And more than a dozen circle Andromeda, as we saw. The great galaxies gather the small ones. It is always the same story. But there is a third. Off to one side of the gulf we are crossing, there drifts one more true spiral, smaller than either of us, but a real spiral all the same, with real arms and real dust lanes and real stars being born. It is called Triangulum, and it is the third member of our little family, the youngest sibling, the quiet one. Let us drift a little out of our way to see it. It grows out of the dark ahead, a soft, loose, open spiral, tilted almost fully face onto us, so that we can look straight down into its heart. It is smaller than Andromeda by a long way, perhaps 40 billion stars against Andromeda's trillion, and it is loose where Andromeda is tight, ragged where Andromeda is grand. Its arms are patchy and irregular, opening outward in soft untidy curves, strewn with pink glowing knots where the gas is collapsing into new suns. And that is the lovely thing about Triangulum, it is busy. It is smaller than us, and smaller than Andromeda, and yet it is making stars faster than either of us. For its size, a small galaxy still full of cold gas, still young at heart, still building. Look down into it and you will see the nurseries glowing, dozens of them, scattered all through its arms like embers. There is one in there so enormous, so bright, that it is one of the largest star-forming regions known in all the local group, a single glowing cloud where thousands of new suns are being born at once, so vast that if it were as close to Earth as our own great nebulae, it would cast shadows on the ground at night. Triangulum is faint from Earth, but not invisible. On a truly dark, truly clear night, if your eyes are good and you know exactly where to look, you can just see it, the very faintest of smudges, far dimmer than Andromeda, right at the absolute edge of what the human eye can do. It is often called the most distant thing that can be seen without a telescope, though it takes real patience and a real black sky. Nearly 3 million light-years. Visible, barely, to something standing in a field. And Triangulum, too, is bound to Andromeda. It circles it, distantly, slowly, over billions of years, and it may already have brushed past it once, long ago, in the deep past. When the great merger comes, in 4 billion years, Triangulum will very likely be drawn in as well, and join the two great spirals in their long slow dance, and be woven into the same final galaxy. All three of us. The whole family, folded together at last into one. That is the local group, two great wheels, one small one, and 80 faint smudges, all falling slowly toward each other in the dark, all of it drifting together through a much larger emptiness beyond. It is everything near. It is everything that will ever matter to us, gravitationally, for the wider universe is expanding, carrying every other galaxy away from us forever, and one day, in the deep future, the local group will be all there is left to see. Everything else will have drifted over the horizon of the visible, and gone. But not us. Not this family. We are bound. We are staying together. Whatever else the universe does, however far apart it pulls everything else, these galaxies will hold on to one another, and fall together, and become one thing, and stay. Let that be a comfortable thought as we drift. Everything out here is coming apart, on the largest scales, and yet the things that are close, the things that are bound, stay close, and grow closer, forever. Even the universe keeps its family. Time passes, out here in the dark. Let it pass. Let yourself drift through it without counting. And slowly, so slowly you can hardly mark the moment it begins, the oval of light ahead of us stops being a smudge, and starts being a place. It has edges now. It has shape. It is no longer a blur but a great soft ellipse of light, tilted toward us, growing wider in the dark. And as it grows, something wonderful begins to happen, it starts to come apart. What was a single wash of glow begins, very faintly, to separate, into a bright core, and a broad pale disk around it, and the first hints of long curved lanes threading across its face. The spiral is beginning to show itself. Let us take the arrival slowly. It is the best part, and it only happens once. For the whole long crossing, Andromeda has been a light. That is all. A soft oval glow, hanging in the dark, growing imperceptibly, the kind of thing you could look at for 1,000 years and not see change. It has been an object the whole way, something out there, something separate, something we were going toward. And then, somewhere in the crossing, without any moment you could point to, it stops being that. It happens by degrees, the way dawn happens. First the glow is simply brighter. Then it is wider than it is tall, and you notice it has a shape. Then the shape has a bright middle and a fainter outside, and you realize you are looking at structure, that this is not a smudge of light but a thing with parts. Then the faintest suggestion of a curve appears across its face, and another, and you understand, with a small quiet shock, that you are seeing the arms. And then one night, if there were nights out here, you look up and it is no longer in front of you. It is around you. There is no line you crossed, no border, no moment of arrival. The light simply keeps growing until it stops being ahead and starts being everywhere, and you are inside the thing you were traveling toward, and you never noticed the change happening. That is how the biggest things arrive, always. Never with an edge. Never with a door. They simply grow until you are in them. And now the individual stars begin. This is the moment I want you to have, so let it be slow. For the whole crossing there has been not one single star anywhere, nothing but the two far galaxies and the perfect empty dark. And now, ahead, in the growing glow, one point of light separates from the haze and becomes distinct. A single star. The first star of another galaxy. Look at it. It is an ordinary star, there is nothing special about it at all. It is one of a trillion, and it does not know you are here, and it has been burning quietly out here for billions of years with no one to see it. But it is the first. It is the one that turned Andromeda from a light into a place. And then another. And another. And then a dozen, and then hundreds, and then the haze all around you comes apart into stars, everywhere, in every direction, thousands upon thousands of them, layer behind layer, receding away into a golden mist, and the mist itself is nothing but more stars, too many and too far to separate. You are not approaching a galaxy anymore. You are in one. A different one. Not ours. Stop here a moment and feel that, gently. You are inside another galaxy. Not our own. A completely separate island of suns, that formed on its own 10 billion years ago, out of its own gas, in its own corner of the dark, with no connection to ours at all, and it made all of this, 1 trillion times over, without any reference to us, and it would have made all of it exactly the same if the Milky Way had never existed. The universe does this everywhere. 2 trillion times over? It is not doing it for anyone. And there is something wonderfully restful in that. Nothing here is a performance. Nothing out here is trying. It is simply what happens when you leave gravity and hydrogen alone for long enough, in the dark, for 10 billion years. Stars. Rings. Dust. Worlds. Skies. Over and over, everywhere, forever, whether anyone comes to see it or not. And tonight, for once, someone came. And now we cross an invisible line, and we are no longer in the space between galaxies. We have entered Andromeda's halo. You would never know it. There is nothing here to see, nothing to feel. But we have arrived, in the truest sense, this vast and near-empty sphere of thin gas and scattered ancient stars that wraps the whole galaxy like an atmosphere, reaching out for hundreds of thousands of light-years in every direction, far beyond the bright disk itself. Andromeda's halo is so enormous that it stretches out more than 1/3 of the way back toward the Milky Way. Our two galaxies, drifting so far apart in the dark, are already touching, their great invisible halos brushing against one another across the void, gently, quietly, the first faint contact of a meeting that will take billions of years to complete. We reached Andromeda long before we could see it clearly. In a sense, we never truly left it. And there is something else out here in the halo, filling it, that no eye could ever see, gas. An enormous, invisible, almost unimaginably thin atmosphere of it, wrapped around the whole galaxy, reaching out for 1,000,000 light-years in every direction, far beyond the stars, far beyond the globular clusters, far beyond anything you would call the galaxy at all. It is hot, this gas, hotter than the surface of a star, heated by the long violence of the galaxy's history, by every supernova that ever went off, by everything Andromeda has ever swallowed. And it is thin beyond any emptiness we can make on Earth, a few atoms in a space the size of a room. Hot enough to glow in light our eyes cannot see. Thin enough to drift through and never know. And yet there is so much of it, spread across such an inconceivable volume, that it may weigh as much as all the stars of the galaxy put together. Everything you saw down there, the trillion suns, the rings, the golden heart, may be matched, in sheer mass, by this invisible breath hanging around it in the dark. It is the galaxy's atmosphere. It is where the gas goes when a star throws it off, and where it waits, sometimes for billions of years, cooling slowly, before it falls back down into the disk and makes new stars. Andromeda breathes. Slowly, over spans of hundreds of millions of years, it breathes out, and it breathes in, and the great cycle turns, and turns. And here is the thing worth holding, this halo is so vast that it reaches most of the way to us. Our own galaxy has one too, just as large. And the two of them are already touching. Somewhere out in the middle of that great empty gulf we crossed tonight, our galaxy's breath and Andromeda's breath are mingling in the dark, quietly, invisibly, and have been for billions of years. We drifted through it on the way here and never felt a thing. The two galaxies have already met. They met long before there was anyone to notice. Everything since is just the slow closing of the distance. Drift on, into the halo, and let the first of Andromeda's stars begin to appear around you. They are old, these outer ones, ancient, red, patient stars, drifting far above and below the bright disk, scattered so thinly through the enormous dark that each one is entirely alone. They have been out here since the beginning, since the galaxy's first youth. They have watched the whole thing turn, 10 billion times, from a great distance. Let us drift among them for a while, these quiet old sentinels, in no hurry at all. And here, floating in the halo, are the globular clusters, and Andromeda has hundreds of them. Far more than our own galaxy holds. Each one is a tight, glowing sphere of hundreds of thousands of ancient stars, packed close together, turning slowly, the oldest things this galaxy has. Drift toward one now, and let it fill your view, a great ball of golden light, so densely crowded at its heart that the stars there are separated by only weeks of light rather than years. If you could stand upon a world deep inside one of these clusters, your night sky would blaze, 100,000 stars, all near, all bright, some of them brighter than the full moon, so that there would be no real darkness ever, only a soft golden twilight, all night, every night, forever. Imagine trying to sleep beneath a sky like that. And yet even there, it would be quiet. Even there, it would be still. Let us drift right into one of them, into the heart of a globular cluster, because it is one of the strangest and most peaceful places there is. We slip in through the outskirts, and the stars begin to thicken around us. Not gradually. Quickly. What was a scattering becomes a crowd, and the crowd becomes a throng, and soon there are stars everywhere you look, in every direction, above and below and behind, thousands of them, tens of thousands, all of them old, all of them warm-colored, all of them gold and orange and soft red. The light comes from everywhere at once. There are no shadows here. There is no dark side of anything. And they are close, by the standards of the deep, impossibly close. Down here in the core, the stars are packed hundreds of times more tightly than in the neighborhood around our sun. If you were on a world in the middle of this, your night sky would hold thousands of stars brighter than Venus, and dozens brighter than the full moon, all of them steady, none of them twinkling. You could read a book by starlight. You could see the colors of things. Night would be a warm gold dusk that never deepened, going on and on, for as long as your world lasted. And it has been like that for 12 billion years. That is the thing to hold. These stars formed at the very beginning, before Andromeda's disk existed, before the rings, before any of it. They are among the oldest things in the universe, older than almost anything, and they have been circling each other in this tight golden swarm since the cosmos was young and small and hot. They watched the galaxy assemble itself beneath them. They will still be here, burning low and red, long after the merger, long after the disk is gone. Nothing has happened here in 12 billion years. No new stars. No gas left to make them. No change of any kind, except the slow reddening of old fires and the endless quiet circling. It is the most stable, most patient, most utterly settled place we have visited tonight. Let that stillness in. 12 billion years of nothing happening. 12 billion years of gold light and slow orbits and perfect quiet. Whatever is unsettled in you tonight, let it sit here for a moment, in a place where nothing has needed to change since the beginning of time. And then let us drift back out, gently, into the thinning dark, and let the cluster shrink behind us into a small golden ball of light, still turning, still burning, still keeping its long watch over the galaxy, as it will for billions of years after everyone who has ever known your name is gone. Onward, and downward, and now Andromeda begins to open beneath us in earnest. We are close enough now that the galaxy no longer looks like an object. It looks like a landscape. It has stopped being a thing hanging in the dark and started being a place spread out below, vast and structured and layered, filling more and more of the view, until it stops being something we are approaching and becomes something we are arriving at. And as we come down toward its outer reaches, we meet Andromeda's children, its own small satellite galaxies, drifting around it as the Magellanic clouds drift around our own. There is a little one called M32, a compact dwarf galaxy, small and dense and bright, orbiting close into Andromeda's disk. It is a strange thing, M32, a small, tight ball of old stars, far denser at its heart than it has any right to be. It was almost certainly larger once, a proper spiral of its own, and Andromeda has eaten it, stripped away its outer stars over billions of years, pulling them off in long soft streams, until only its dense compact core was left. It has been hollowed out, gently, over unimaginable ages, and what drifts there now is the last surviving heart of a galaxy that Andromeda consumed. And there is another, M110, a larger, looser, softer dwarf, drifting on the other side, a faint smudge of old stars and quiet dust. And there are others, fainter still, scattered around, a dozen or more small companion galaxies, all bound to Andromeda, all slowly circling it, all slowly being pulled apart. For this is what great galaxies do, patiently, across the ages, they gather. They draw in the small ones. They take them apart, star by star, over billions of years, and weave them into themselves. Andromeda's great disk is made in part of galaxies it has swallowed, their stars still drifting there, mixed in among the rest, all trace of where they came from long since lost. And all through the halo around us, if you look closely, you can see the evidence, long faint streams and arcs of stars, thin as smoke, curving through the dark. These are the ghosts. These are the trails of galaxies that came too close, long ago, and were unwound, and stretched out into ribbons, and are still slowly dissolving into Andromeda's halo, 10 billion years later. There is a great one here, a vast stream of stars curving right around the galaxy, the remains of some poor small galaxy that wandered in and never left. It is beautiful, in a soft and melancholy way. Nothing is destroyed out here, not really. It is only taken in, and carried on, and made part of something larger. let us follow one of those ghost streams for a while. It is a quiet thing to do, and there is no hurry. It curves away ahead of us through the halo, thin and faint, a long river of stars, strung out across 100,000 light-years, each star drifting alone in the dark with nothing near it at all. From a distance the stream looks solid, like a wisp of smoke. Up close there is almost nothing here, a star, and then unimaginable emptiness, and then another star, all of them traveling the same path, all of them utterly unaware of one another. They were a galaxy once. A small one, a dwarf, a few 100 million stars, minding its own business out in the dark. And a few billion years ago it drifted too close to Andromeda, and Andromeda's gravity took hold of it, and did not let go. Not violently. There was no crash, no explosion. Just a slow, patient, enormous pull, stretching the little galaxy out, drawing its stars away a few at a time, unwinding it over hundreds of millions of years, the way you might slowly unravel a jumper by pulling one thread. And this is what is left. Not wreckage. Not ruins. Just the thread, still lying along the path it was pulled down, still slowly dissolving into the halo, still going around, 10 billion years later. In another few billion years the stream will be gone entirely, its stars mixed evenly into Andromeda's halo, indistinguishable, no longer part of anything but the greater whole. And nothing was lost. Not one star was destroyed. Every single sun that belonged to that little galaxy is still burning right now, exactly as it always did, with its world still turning around it if it had any. They simply belong to something else now. They have a new address. The galaxy they came from is gone, its name, its shape, its history, all of it dissolved, but every part of it survives, carried on, folded into something larger and older than itself. That is what happens to everything out here, eventually. Nothing is ever destroyed, it is only taken in and carried on. Andromeda is not a thing that ate other galaxies. Andromeda is those galaxies. It is made of them. Every galaxy in the universe is a gathering of everything that ever came close enough to join. There is something in that worth sleeping on, I think. That the way big quiet things grow is not by conquering anything, but simply by being there, patiently, and letting what comes near become part of them. And that the things which dissolve into something larger do not stop existing. They just stop being separate. Let the stream drift past. Let it go on dissolving. It has been doing it for billions of years and it is in no distress whatsoever. Drift on, and down. The great disk is enormous below us now, filling the sky, and we are sinking slowly toward it. Let your body sink with it. Let yourself grow heavier as we descend. We have crossed the emptiness. We are here. And the loveliest part of the journey is only beginning. We are sinking now toward the great disk of Andromeda, and it spreads out beneath us from horizon to horizon of the mind, a vast, luminous plain of stars, wider than thought, glowing softly in the dark. From up here, high above it, we can see the whole architecture at once. There is the bright golden bulge at the center, a great swarm of old stars crowded close. There are the spiral arms, sweeping out from it in long graceful curves, wound around and around, glowing where the young blue stars burn brightest. And threading between them, dark and beautiful, are the dust lanes, great rivers of cold soot and grain, winding through the disk, blocking the light behind them, drawing long dark curves across all that brightness. And here is something particular about Andromeda, something that makes it unlike our own. Its arms are not really arms at all, not in the way ours are. They are rings. Andromeda's spiral is wound so tightly, and so evenly, that from above it looks less like a pinwheel and more like a great set of glowing rings, one inside the next, all turning together around the golden heart. Some long ago encounter, perhaps with little M32, falling straight through the disk, sent ripples spreading outward through the galaxy like ripples on a pond, and they are still spreading, still ringing, hundreds of millions of years later. What we are looking down at is a galaxy that was struck, once, long ago, and is still quietly humming from the blow. Let us drift down into it. And now the disk stops being a picture and becomes an ocean. We sink into it, and the stars come up around us, not below us anymore but all around, above and beside and beneath, a great slow blizzard of suns, each one drifting past in its own good time. They are not close together. They never are. Even here, in the thick of a galaxy, the stars are separated by years of light, and the space between them is dark and vast and quiet. But there are so very many of them that they fill the view in every direction, layer upon layer upon layer, receding away into a soft golden haze. And it is strange to be here, in a galaxy that is so like ours and yet is not ours at all. They call Andromeda our twin, and in the broad shape of it that is true, two great spirals, two golden hearts, two disks of dust and stars, two halos of ancient clusters, both of them built by the same physics out of the same hydrogen over the same 10 billion years. If you brought someone here from Earth and did not tell them, they might not immediately know they were somewhere else. But they are not twins. They are sisters, which is a different thing, and the differences are worth noticing. Andromeda is larger, twice as wide, more than twice as many stars. It is older, and it has lived a rougher life, it has swallowed more galaxies than we have, and it wears the evidence, in those ghost streams curving through its halo, in the hollowed-out heart of little M32, in the great ring structure still ringing from some ancient blow. Andromeda has been in more fights. And it is quieter now, for all that. It makes fewer new stars than our own galaxy does, perhaps only a fraction as many. Its gas is running low, it spent its youth extravagantly and it is settling now into a long slow middle age. Our Milky Way, smaller and less grand, is still busily making suns at a steady rate, still full of cold gas, still building. The little sister is younger at heart. And our black hole is small, for million suns, against Andromeda's 100 million. Our heart is quieter. Our arms are looser and more ragged, hers are wound into those great even rings. We have two bright companions, she has a dozen faint ones and the bones of the ones she ate. Two galaxies. Same recipe, same ingredients, same amount of time, and they came out different. Not better or worse. Just different, the way two trees grown from the same seed in different fields come out different, shaped by what happened to them, by what wandered past, by what they took in and what they lost, over 10 billion years of standing there in the dark. That is what the universe does with a recipe. It never makes the same thing twice, not exactly. There are 2 trillion galaxies out there, all built the same way, and not one of them is identical to another. Every single one has its own history written into its shape, every collision, every swallowed neighbor, every long quiet stretch, all of it still visible, if you know how to look, in the way the arms curve and the halo streams and the light falls. Andromeda is a life story. So is ours. So, for that matter, is yours. 1 trillion stars. Let that word sit gently. 1 trillion. If you tried to count them, 1 star each second, without ever stopping to sleep or eat or rest, you would need more than 30,000 years. If every person who has ever lived on Earth were each given their own share of Andromeda's stars, we would each receive more than 8,000 suns. And every one of those suns is real. Every one is a furnace, burning quietly in the dark, older than our world, with its own light and its own long story and, in a great many cases, its own family of worlds turning slowly around it. Drift among them now. Let them pass. There is no need to look at any one of them. We are moving inward, toward one of the great bright rings, and as we approach it, the character of the galaxy changes around us. The stars grow younger here, and hotter, and bluer. This is where the gas gathers thick, and where gas gathers, stars are born. Ahead of us the ring is glowing, not with the soft gold of old suns but with the fierce clean blue-white of young ones, thousands upon thousands of them, newly kindled, blazing away their short furious lives in a great arc across the dark. And among them, the nurseries. Drift toward one now, a vast glowing cloud, light years deep, lit from inside by the stars taking shape within it. Curtains of soft red and green hang across the dark. Towers of coal dust, tall as whole solar systems, rise up glowing at their edges where the young starlight strikes them. And deep inside, in the thickest and coldest hearts of the cloud, the gas is gathering itself, slowly, patiently, over hundreds of thousands of years, growing denser and heavier and warmer, until at last, in the dark, a new fire kindles, and another star opens its eyes for the first time. It is happening right now, all around us. It has been happening here for 10 billion years. Somewhere in this ring, tonight, a star is being born that will still be burning long after our own sun has died. And around it, from the leftover dust, small worlds are gathering, new planets, forming in the light of a new sun, exactly as our own Earth once gathered itself out of a cloud very much like this one, 4.5 billion years ago, in a galaxy 2.5 million light-years away. Think of that gently as we drift. Everything that happened to make you happened here too, over and over, a trillion times, in a place you will never touch, among people who will never know your name. The universe does not do anything only once. And now let us follow the dust lanes for a while, those great dark rivers winding between the rings. They look like emptiness, but they are the opposite of empty. They are the thickest, richest, coldest places in the galaxy, great slow clouds of grain and soot and frozen gas, the raw material of every star and every world that Andromeda has yet to make. They are dark simply because they are so full, so crowded with dust that the light of all the stars behind them cannot get through. Drift into one, and the galaxy dims around you, and the stars soften and vanish, and you are wrapped in a cold and gentle blackness, drifting through the quiet places where the next 10 billion years of this galaxy are patiently waiting to begin. Let yourself rest in that dark. Let the softness of it wrap you. There is nothing here but slow cold dust and time, and neither of them is in any hurry, and neither are you. And drift a little longer here, through the middle reaches of the disk, because there are things here worth seeing slowly. Look at the colors, first. From Earth, in every photograph, Andromeda glows a soft cream gold with blue edges, and that is true, but it is the truth of a very long exposure. Here, inside it, drifting among the stars themselves, the colors separate and become individual. That one there is a deep ember red, an old giant, swollen and cool, its light the color of a dying fire. That one is a hard white blue, young and furious, burning through its fuel 1,000 times faster than our sun and destined to die before Andromeda has turned even once more. And there, a soft yellow one, unremarkable, patient, a star very much like ours, with the same warmth, the same color, the same slow steady burn. There are billions of those here. Any one of them could be home to something. And notice the pairs. So many of these stars are not alone. More than half the stars in any galaxy are born in pairs or in threes, gathered together out of the same cloud, bound to each other forever, turning around one another for billions of years. Drift past one now, two suns, one gold, one orange, circling each other slowly in the dark, so close that they share a faint bridge of glowing gas. If there were a world in that system, its sky would have two suns in it, rising and setting at different times, casting double shadows on the ground, and its people, if it had any, would think a single sun sky like ours was the strange and lonely thing. And here and there, a stranger sight. A small point of light, flickering, restless, far brighter than it has any right to be. That is a pair too, but a mismatched one, an ordinary star, and beside it something that used to be a star, a dead cinder, or a neutron star, or a black hole, pulling a slow stream of gas off its living companion, drawing it down in a bright spiraling disk, heating it as it falls until it blazes in light our eyes were never built to see. Andromeda is full of these quiet vampires, hundreds of them, scattered through the disk and clustered thick around the golden heart. They are the galaxy's afterlives, the leftovers of stars that finished long ago and are still, somehow, feeding. Do not let it trouble you. It is only how things go, out here. Nothing is wasted. The gas comes off the living star, and falls, and shines, and eventually the whole system quiets down, and everything settles, and the galaxy turns on. Even the endings, out here, are slow and gentle and unremarkable. Drift on. And look, a globular cluster, hanging just above the plane of the disk, close enough now to see clearly. Not one of the far halo ones we passed on the way in, but one of the great inner ones, glowing golden against the dark. There is a special one in Andromeda, the brightest globular cluster in the whole local group, a vast ball of millions of ancient stars, so massive that some think it may not be a cluster at all, but the stripped and hollowed heart of yet another galaxy that Andromeda swallowed long ago, its outer stars long since torn away and woven into the disk, only its dense old core surviving, still orbiting, still turning. A small quiet ghost of something that used to be enormous. Let it drift past. There is a whole history here, written in stars, and almost none of it will ever be read. And notice, as we go, how much room there is. That is the thing that never comes across in the pictures. From Earth, Andromeda looks solid, a smooth dense sheet of light, packed edge to edge with stars. But you are inside it now, and it is mostly empty. Overwhelmingly empty. The stars around you are separated by years of light. You could fly for 1,000 years, in any direction, and touch nothing at all. If you shrank the sun to the size of a grain of sand, the nearest grain would be miles away, and that is here, in the busy part, in the thick of a galaxy's disk. A galaxy is not a crowd. A galaxy is a vast dark room with a few bright things in it, very far apart, and all of them minding their own business, turning slowly, for 10 billion years. That is why nothing will collide when the galaxies meet. That is why the merger will be gentle. There is simply too much room. There has always been too much room. Let that be the last thing you take from the disk. As we leave it, the universe is not crowded. It is not competing. There is space enough here for absolutely everything, forever, and nothing has to push anything else out of the way. Every star has its own enormous quiet room, and it will keep it for as long as it burns. Now let us drift inward, toward the heart. Out of the dust lane, and back into the light, and as we move inward, toward the center of the galaxy, everything begins to change. The blue young stars grow scarce. The great glowing nurseries thin out and fall behind. And the stars around us grow older, and warmer in color, and more numerous, many more. They gather. They crowd. The soft golden haze that was a distant glow becomes a great swarming brightness all around us, thicker with every million light-years we descend. This is the bulge, the ancient heart of Andromeda, a vast rounded swarm of old stars packed close together, so many of them that the space between grows almost crowded by the standards of the deep. They are red and orange and gold, these stars, the long-burning ones, the patient ones. There is little gas here, it was all used up long ago, in the galaxy's fierce and glorious youth. Nothing new is born in the bulge now. It is a place of old fires, burning low and steady, and they will go on burning here for a very long time. The sky, if you were on a world in here, would be extraordinary. Not the sparse scattered stars of our own quiet suburb, but a great dome of them, thousands upon thousands bright enough to see, the whole sky glowing softly gold, a permanent warm twilight, night after night after night, for 100 million years. No one on such a world would ever have known true darkness. No one there would ever have seen the space between the galaxies, or Andromeda's own faint neighbors, or wondered, as we did, what lay beyond. Their sky would be too full to see out of. Drift on, inward, and let the crowd of stars grow thicker still. They stream past us now, hundreds of them, thousands, an endless soft golden storm. And at the very center of it all, at the still point around which this whole trillion-star wheel has been turning for 10 billion years, there is something strange. Andromeda has two hearts. Not one bright core, as you would expect, but two separate knots of concentrated starlight, sitting side by side at the galaxy's very center, a few light-years apart. For a long while after we first saw it, nobody could explain it. Had Andromeda swallowed another galaxy whole, and kept its nucleus, undigested, at its core? It seemed the only answer. But the truth turned out to be stranger and lovelier than that. There is only one center. What we see as two is a single vast ring of old red stars, thousands of them, sweeping around the true center in a great elliptical orbit, like water circling a drain. And because that orbit is stretched, not round, the stars in it slow down at the far end and linger there, crowding together, piling up, exactly as cars pile up at the slow end of a long bend. That pile-up is the second nucleus. It is not another heart at all. It is a traffic jam of suns, a permanent gathering of stars that have simply slowed down and bunched up, 10 billion years of gentle congestion at the outer edge of a great slow ring. Drift into that ring now. Let the old red stars sweep past you, unhurried, each one taking hundreds of thousands of years to make its long slow circuit. And there, at the center of the ring, at the true heart of Andromeda, is the thing they are all circling. A black hole. And not a small one. Our own galaxy's central black hole holds the mass of 4 million suns. Andromeda's holds 100 million. It is more than 20 times heavier than ours, 100 million suns, crushed down into a single point, wrapped in a horizon of perfect dark from which no light has ever escaped. It sits there, silent, invisible, at the exact center of everything, and it has sat there since the galaxy began. Do not be afraid of it. There is nothing to fear here. It is not devouring the galaxy, it is far too small for that, and far too far away from almost everything. A trillion stars turn around it, and almost none of them will ever come near. It is quiet now, it has eaten almost nothing for a very long time, and it simply rests there in the dark, the great still pivot at the center of the wheel, holding the innermost stars in their tight and ancient orbits while the rest of the galaxy sweeps grandly around it across the ages. Rest here a moment, with me, at the heart of another galaxy. 2.5 million light-years from your bed. At the center of a trillion suns, in a ring of slow red stars, beside 100 million solar masses of perfect silence. It is the stillest place we have been tonight. Nothing here is in any hurry. Nothing here has been in a hurry for 10 billion years. And your body, meanwhile, is lying quietly in a warm dark room on a small blue world, breathing slowly, growing heavier, letting go. Both things are true at once. Let them both be true. Let the great turning quiet of this place settle over you, and sink into you, and slow you down, all the way down, to the pace of old red stars drifting in a ring around the dark. Let us rise, gently, up out of the crowded heart, and drift back out into the quieter reaches of the disk, where the stars thin and soften and there is room to breathe again. And as we drift, let us wonder about the worlds. Because they must be there. Around a great many of those trillion suns, there are planets, We know this now, beyond any real doubt, because we have learned that planets are not rare and precious accidents but the ordinary leftovers of star-making, as common as stars themselves. Every star out here gathered itself from a cloud, and every cloud left a disk of debris behind, and every disk of debris made worlds. So there are, in this galaxy we are drifting through tonight, very likely more than 1 trillion planets. Rocky ones and frozen ones and gas giants with rings. Worlds with 2 suns in the sky, or 3. Worlds with vast slow oceans. Worlds where it rained something other than water. Worlds locked forever with one face to their star, one side in endless day, the other in endless night, and a thin band of eternal twilight between them where, who knows, something might live. Somewhere in the great wheel around you, there is a world with a blue sky. Somewhere there is a shoreline with waves rolling onto it, and no one to see them, and no one who has ever seen them, and no one who ever will. Somewhere there is a mountain range that has stood for 100 million years, unnamed, unclimbed, unwitnessed. Somewhere there is a rain shower falling, right now, in the light of an alien sun, on stones nobody has ever touched. And somewhere, perhaps, there is something looking up. We do not know. We have no way of knowing, and perhaps we never will. Andromeda is too far away for us ever to learn the answer, and the light is too old, and the distance too great. But it is a gentle thought to hold as we drift here among all these quiet suns. 1 trillion stars. 1 trillion worlds. 10 billion years of time. It is a very large number of chances. And if, on some small world in one of these rings, something did once gather itself out of the sea and learn to look up, then on some clear night, it would have seen, low on its own horizon, a faint and misty little smudge of light. Not a star. Something softer than a star. And it would not have known what it was either. That smudge would have been us. Let us imagine some of those skies, gently, as we drift. It costs nothing to imagine, and it is a soft thing to hold as you sink. Imagine a world far out at the very edge of Andromeda's disk, in the thin quiet outskirts where the stars grow sparse. Its night sky would be nearly empty, a scattering of faint lights, and nothing more. But looking inward, toward the galaxy's heart, it would see a great glowing dome rising over the horizon, the whole vast disk of Andromeda, seen from the inside edge, a wall of soft light climbing the sky, brighter than any moon, arching from horizon to horizon. Its people would have grown up under that. They would have no word for a dark night. They would live their whole lives with the galaxy rising and setting over them, and they would think nothing of it at all, the way we think nothing of the sun. Imagine a world deep in one of the great star-forming rings, wrapped in the glowing gas of the nursery it was born in. Its sky would be colored, actually colored, soft reds and greens and pinks, great luminous curtains hanging overhead every night, lit from within by the young blue stars all around it. Nothing would ever be truly black there. Its nights would be like our brightest auroras, but permanent, and everywhere, and unremarkable. Imagine a world in a globular cluster, out in the halo, with 100,000 suns crowded close around it. No darkness ever. A sky so thick with bright stars that you could read by it, all night, every night, for 1 billion years. And that world would never see the galaxy at all, never see Andromeda's great disk, never know there was anything beyond its own blazing little swarm, because its own sky would be too bright to see out of. It would live inside a lantern. And imagine a world in the bulge, in the crowded golden heart, where the stars are packed thick and old. A permanent warm twilight. A sky of 10,000 visible suns, gold and red and orange. And somewhere in that sky, if they knew where to look, a faint dark patch, the great still nothing at the very center, 100 million solar masses of perfect silence, that all their stars have been circling since before their world existed. None of these worlds knows about the others. None of them knows about us. All of them are out there, or something like them is, turning quietly, tonight, in the light of their own suns, 2.5 million light-years from your bed. And every single one of them has a night. Every one of them turns away from its star, and grows dark, and cools, and quiets. Whatever lives on any of them, if anything does, has to rest sometime. The whole universe takes turns being dark. It is a gentle thing to think about, as you lie there in your own turn of darkness, on your own small world, under your own sky. You are doing the thing that every world does. You are turning away from the light for a while, and letting the quiet come, and resting. Turn around now. Turn and look back the way we came, out through the thinning stars of Andromeda's outer disk, out past the ancient globulars in the halo, out into the vast dark gulf we crossed tonight. And there, small, and pale, and impossibly far away, is the Milky Way. Our whole galaxy. From here it is exactly what Andromeda is from home, a faint soft oval of light, hanging alone in the blackness, so dim you might miss it, so small you could hide it behind a fingertip. 400 billion suns in that little smudge. Every mountain and ocean and city and song. Every person who has ever lived, every war, every love, every quiet Tuesday afternoon, all of it, in that small pale blur of light, 2.5 million light-years away across the dark. And the light you are seeing it by is old. Of course it is. It left the Milky Way 2.5 million years ago, and has been crossing the emptiness ever since. So the galaxy you are looking at from here is not the galaxy you left tonight, it is the galaxy as it was, long before you, long before anyone. From here, in this moment, the Earth has no cities on it. There is no one there who could write your name. Everything you know is still ahead, still in that galaxy's future, still waiting to happen, and none of its light has reached this place yet. That is what distance is, out here. Distance is time. To be far away is to be in the past. And every direction you look, in all the universe, you are looking backwards, always, into what was. Let that settle softly, without weight. It is not a sad thing. It is only how the universe is built, everything arriving late, everything gentle with age, all the light in all the sky a message from something that has already moved on. And it means that somewhere out there, right now, our light is still traveling. The light that left Earth tonight, from your window, from the street lamp on your road, is on its way out into the dark, and it will keep going, and going, long after this night, long after all of us, crossing the emptiness for millions of years, until one day it too arrives somewhere, faint and old and softened by the journey, and becomes part of somebody else's quiet night sky. Drift here a while, between the two galaxies, and let both of them be beautiful. The great one all around you, turning slowly. The small pale one far behind, waiting patiently for you to come home to it. Let us drift out along one of the great rings for a while, before we speak of anything else. Just follow it. Let it carry us. The ring is enormous, it wraps the whole galaxy, tens of thousands of light-years around, and we are moving along the inside of it like something drifting down a slow, wide river. On one side, the darker inner spaces where the old stars thin out. On the other, the outer disk falling away toward the rim. And all along the ring itself, the young blue stars, blazing in clusters and knots and long strings, and the pink glowing clouds between them where the next ones are being made. There is no wind. There is no sound. Nothing rushes past. The stars drift by so slowly that if you watched any single one you would not see it move at all, you would have to wait 1,000 years to notice it had shifted. And yet we are covering light years. Everything out here is like that, enormous speed, and the appearance of perfect stillness, forever. Let yourself move at the pace of the ring. Let your breathing find that slowness. In and out and drift. Notice the dust. It is everywhere here, not a haze, but great soft banks and streamers of it, cold and dark, drifting between us and the stars behind, dimming them, reddening them, softening their light the way distance softens a memory. The stars you see through the dust are all a little warmer in color than they truly are, a little gentler, a little further away seeming. Andromeda is full of this quiet softening. Nothing here is sharp. And the dust is not dirt. That is the lovely thing. It is soot and grain and ice, carbon and silicon and oxygen and iron, every atom of it made inside a star that has already died. This whole galaxy is drifting through the ashes of its own past. Everything cold and dark out here was once inside something burning. And all of it is waiting, patiently, for millions of years, for tens of millions, to be gathered up again, and squeezed, and lit, and made into the next generation of suns and the next generation of worlds. The dust is the galaxy remembering. And it is the galaxy getting ready. Drift on. There is a great glowing knot ahead, one of the big nurseries in the ring, and as we pass it, let it wash over you, soft red light, curtains of it, and the sharp blue points of newborn stars scattered through the middle like sparks in smoke. There are thousands of new suns in there. They are all younger than the human species. Some of them are younger than the pyramids. In a galaxy where nearly everything is billions of years old, these are infants, and they are blazing away with all the recklessness of infants, and most of them will burn out long before Andromeda has turned even once more. And past it, the ring goes on. And on. And on. It does not end. It curves away ahead of us into the golden haze and comes around, eventually, to where we started, 30,000 light-years later. Everything out here is a circle. Everything comes back around. Let that be restful. There is nothing to reach. There is no end of the ring to get to. There is only the drifting, and the slow light, and the cold soft dust, and the quiet, going around, and around, for 10 billion years. Your breathing is a circle too. In, and out, and in again, and it has been going around like that your whole life, without you, all night, every night. Let it go around. Let it carry you the way the ring carries us. There is nowhere it is trying to get to either. And now, at last, let us speak of the meeting. Because these two galaxies, the great one around you and the small pale one behind, are not simply sitting in the dark, admiring each other across the gulf. They are falling together. They always have been. From the moment they both took shape in the young universe, their gravity has reached across the emptiness and gently, patiently, pulled, and they have been drifting toward one another ever since, gathering speed across the ages, closing the gap a little more with every heartbeat. Right now, as you lie there breathing, Andromeda is coming toward us at something like 400,000 kilometers every hour. It has been coming your whole life. It was coming while you slept last night. It has never once stopped. And in about 4 billion years, it will arrive. Let us drift forward now, out of tonight, and watch it happen. Let the years run, not quickly, nothing out here is ever quick, but let them run, millions at a time, and watch the sky. On Earth, at first, almost nothing changes. The little smudge in the night sky grows very slowly larger. 1,000,000 years pass, and it is a fraction wider. 100 million, and it is noticeably bigger, no longer a smudge but a small soft oval that anyone would notice. 1 billion years pass, and it fills a patch of sky larger than the moon, a great glowing lens of light, tilted, beautiful, hanging there every clear night, growing. And it keeps growing. 2 billion years. 3. Now it spans a great swathe of the heavens, an enormous soft spiral of light stretched across the night, brighter than anything, its arms clearly visible, its dust lanes dark and distinct, a whole galaxy filling the sky above a quiet Earth, night after night, growing wider every million years. Imagine looking up at that. Imagine a sky with another galaxy in it, close enough to see its structure with the naked eye. There will be no one there to name what they are seeing, most likely. But the sky will be extraordinary. And then, about 4 billion years from tonight, the two galaxies meet. And here is the wonder of it, nothing crashes. Nothing collides. Not one single star strikes another, not one, in the whole enormous meeting of two galaxies and 1.5 trillion suns. Because the stars are so unimaginably far apart, and the space between them is so vast, that the two galaxies simply pass through each other, like two clouds of smoke drifting together, like two flocks of birds crossing in the air. Every star sails serenely through the gaps between the other galaxy's stars, and misses everything, and sails on. What does change is the shape. As they pass through one another, the great gravity of each begins to pull the other apart, not violently, but slowly, hugely, over hundreds of millions of years. The graceful spiral arms are drawn out into vast curving streamers of stars, flung out across hundreds of thousands of light years, long shining tails of suns arcing away into the dark. The neat wheels come undone. The two galaxies swing past each other, out into the emptiness, slow and enormous and beautiful, trailing rivers of stars behind them like ribbons. And then they fall back. They always fall back. Gravity does not let go. They swing around, and pass through each other again, and again, each pass slower and closer and more entangled than the last, over 1 billion years or more, until at last the two are so mixed and so bound that they can no longer be told apart. The spiral arms are gone forever. What is left, when everything finally settles, is one single vast galaxy, a great smooth golden ellipse of stars, featureless and calm, holding 1.5 trillion suns, turning quietly in the dark where two spirals used to be. Some people have given it a name already, that future galaxy. They call it Andromeda. It does not exist yet. It will not exist for 4,000 million years. But it is coming, as surely as tomorrow morning is coming, and nothing anywhere can stop it. And the gas, all that coal dust we drifted through, all those dark rivers in both galaxies, will be shoved and squeezed and compressed in the passing, and it will do the thing that gas always does when it is squeezed. It will catch fire. There will be a great blaze of star formation, the last great flowering of both galaxies, millions upon millions of new suns kindling all at once across the wreckage, a firestorm of creation lasting 100 million years, lighting the whole merger up like an ember blown upon. Out of the coming apart, one final enormous act of making. And what of our sun, in all of this? What of the Earth? Almost certainly, nothing. The sun will very likely sail straight through, untouched, missing everything, as almost all the stars will. It may be flung far out into the halo of the new galaxy, or thrown into some long strange orbit it never had before, and from wherever it ends up the night sky will be utterly unlike anything we have ever known. But the sun itself, and its little family of worlds, will most likely simply carry on, turning, unaware. Though by then the Earth will be a very different place. For billion years is a long time even for a star. By then our sun will be old and swollen and far too hot, and the oceans will be long gone, and the Earth will be a dry and quiet stone. Nobody will be standing on it to watch the sky fill with the other galaxy. Or perhaps, someone will be watching from somewhere else entirely, from some world we have not yet imagined, and they will look up at that vast slow collision of two galaxies filling their sky, and they will find it beautiful, and they will not be afraid, because there is nothing at all to be afraid of. It is only two great quiet things, coming together, at last, after 12 billion years of falling. And let us drift a little further forward, past the merger, into the deep future, because the story does not end there, and the ending is gentler than you might think. When it is all over, when the two great spirals have finished their long slow dance and settled at last into one smooth golden ellipse of stars, the sky of any world inside it will be something no one has ever seen. There will be no Milky Way arching overhead, no soft misty river of light across the night, because there will be no disk left to look along the edge of. That great band of light that has hung over every human being who ever lived, that every people on Earth told stories about, will simply be gone. Instead, the stars will be spread more evenly all around, an old and even scattering of golden suns, filling the whole sky softly in every direction. A quieter sky. An older sky. Beautiful in a different way. And beyond it, nothing. This is the strangest part, and the softest. Because while all of this is happening, the wider universe is doing what it has always done, expanding. Every galaxy beyond our own little bound family is drifting away from us, carried on the quiet endless stretching of space itself, and the further they get the faster they go. And in the deep future, long after the merger, tens of billions of years from tonight, they will all have drifted so far, so fast, that their light can no longer reach us at all. One by one, over unimaginable ages, every other galaxy in the universe will slip quietly over the horizon of the visible and disappear. And then Andromeda will be alone. One single vast island of old golden stars, drifting in a dark that is perfectly, absolutely empty, with nothing else visible anywhere, in any direction, forever. Anyone living there, if anyone ever does, will look out and see only their own stars, and beyond them, nothing at all. They will have no way of knowing that the universe was ever full. They will have no way of learning about the 2 trillion galaxies, or the cosmic web, or the great expansion, or any of it. To them, their galaxy will simply be everything there is, exactly as our galaxy seemed to be everything, to us, 100 years ago, before someone found one small pulsing star in a smudge of light. We are living in a rare and precious moment. Right now, tonight, the universe is still young enough, and still close enough together, that we can see it. We can look up and find Andromeda with our own eyes. We can count 2 trillion galaxies. We can read the first light of creation glowing at the edge of everything. All of that is visible only for a while, a brief window, a few billion years wide, in a universe that will go on for hundreds of billions more. We happen to be here for the part where you can still see out. And after that, the long, slow, gentle fading. The gas runs low. The star-making slows, and finally stops. The blue stars die first, then the yellow ones, then the orange, until only the little red dwarfs are left, burning their careful fires, trillions of years long, growing dimmer and cooler and quieter across spans of time that make the whole age of the universe so far look like a single morning. And then, eventually, even they go out. And what is left is dark, and cold, and vast, and utterly at peace. The universe does not end in fire. It ends in something much more like sleep. There is nothing sad in that. It is only very, very far away, and everything beautiful that has ever happened is happening now, in the bright, brief young morning of things, while the stars are still burning and the galaxies are still close enough to see. You are alive in the best part. You are alive while the lights are still on. And tonight, in the middle of that brief and shining morning, you drifted across 2.5 million light-years, and looked at another galaxy from the inside, and came home. That is not a small thing to have done with an evening. That is what Andromeda is, out here in the dark. Not a neighbor. Not a stranger. Something on its way to us. Something we are already touching, halo to halo, across the emptiness. something we are going to become. Let us drift slowly back out through the rings now, and while we drift, let me tell you how we came to know any of this at all. Because it is a good story, and a quiet one, and it is worth hearing while you sink. For almost the whole of human history, nobody had the faintest idea what that smudge was. The old Persian astronomers wrote about it more than 1,000 years ago. They called it the little cloud, and it is the first mention of Andromeda anyone ever wrote down. When the first telescopes were turned on it, it did not resolve into stars, it simply became a larger, brighter smudge. And so for centuries it was catalogued as a nebula, one of those soft glowing clouds of gas scattered through our galaxy, no different from any other. The Andromeda Nebula. A small local thing. But it troubled people. It was so large, and so smooth, and so oddly shaped. And there were others like it, dozens, then hundreds, of these strange soft spirals, scattered all across the sky, and nobody could say what they were. And so, about a century ago, a genuine argument broke out, a proper, public, unresolved argument among the best astronomers alive, about the size of the universe itself. One side said, these spirals are clouds inside our galaxy. The Milky Way is everything, it is the whole universe, there is nothing beyond it. The other side said, no, these are not clouds at all. They are other galaxies. Whole separate islands of stars, unimaginably far away, so far that all their stars blur into a smudge. The universe is not one galaxy. It is many. Nobody could settle it. Both sides had good evidence. Both sides were serious and careful people. And the question hanging between them was as large as a question can be, is our galaxy everything there is, or is it one grain of sand on an endless beach? And then someone found a single star. Not a special star. A perfectly ordinary kind, a Cepheid, one of those stars that pulse, brightening and dimming and brightening again, over and over, on a steady rhythm of days or weeks. And there is a wonderful thing about these pulsing stars, discovered some years earlier by a woman working patiently through photographic plates. The rhythm tells you the truth. The slower a Cepheid pulses, the brighter it truly is. Measure how long its beat takes, and you know exactly how much light it is really giving off. Compare that to how faint it looks, and the difference tells you, precisely, unarguably, how far away it is. They are lighthouses. They are honest lighthouses, that tell you their true brightness, so you can measure the distance to anything they sit inside. And one night, on a photographic plate of the Andromeda Nebula, a man found one. A tiny pulsing star, in among the smudge. He watched its rhythm. He worked out how bright it truly was. He compared it to how faint it appeared. And the number that came out the other side was so enormous that he must have sat with it a long while before he believed it. Andromeda was not inside our galaxy. It was not near. It was hundreds of thousands of times further away than any star anyone had ever measured. It was an entire galaxy of its own, unthinkably distant, and it had been hanging there in plain sight, visible to the naked eye, over every human being who had ever lived, for as long as there had been eyes to see it. And in that moment, the universe got bigger. Not a little bigger. Not twice as big. The universe became, in the space of a single measurement, millions upon millions of times larger than anyone had ever imagined, and everything that people had thought was everything turned out to be one small island in an ocean without a shore. Every one of those hundreds of soft smudges scattered across the sky was another galaxy. Another trillion suns. The universe went from a single room to something without walls at all. And it happened because someone sat patiently in the cold, night after night, and looked at one faint pulsing star. That is how we know. Not by going. We have never gone, no one has ever left our own solar system, not really, and no one ever will reach Andromeda. Everything you have drifted through tonight, every ring and dust lane, an old red star and the great dark heart of it, we know by light alone, gathered patiently, by quiet people, in the cold, over 100 years. All of it came to us. We only had to sit still and pay attention. There is something deeply restful in that, I think. We did not have to conquer anything to know the universe. We only had to look, and wait, and be careful, and let the light arrive. The whole enormous cosmos gave itself up to patience. And you are being patient now. You are lying still, in the dark, and letting things come to you. It is the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. Let us drift now, without destination, through the outer rings of Andromeda, and simply be here for a while. We have come a very long way. There is no need to go anywhere else. Let the galaxy turn around you, slowly, and let yourself be carried by it. Notice how quiet it is. That is the thing that no picture ever shows. A galaxy looks, in every image ever made of it, like something violent, like an explosion caught mid-flight, all that fire and light and motion. But you are inside one now, and it is silent. It has always been silent. There is no air here to carry any sound, and so the whole vast wheel, a trillion burning suns, 10 billion years of turning, the birth and death of 100 million stars, makes no noise at all. Not the faintest whisper. It is the largest, brightest, most enormous thing you have ever been inside, and it is as quiet as a snowfall. And it is slow. That is the other thing. Nothing here is hurrying. The stars around you drift past at speeds that would seem violent if you were near them, and yet from here, at this scale, they seem hardly to move at all, because the distances are so great that a star crossing hundreds of kilometers each second still takes 100,000 years to go anywhere worth mentioning. The whole galaxy turns once in a quarter of a billion years. In the time it takes Andromeda to make a single turn, whole species rise and vanish on a small blue world 2.5 million light-years away. Everything out here happens at the pace of geology, and then slower. So let yourself move at that pace now. Let your breathing slow to match it. There is nothing here that is in a hurry, and tonight, neither are you. Drift on. And here and there, as we pass, notice the pulsing stars, the Cepheids, the honest lighthouses, the ones that told us where we were. They are still doing it. Right now, all through this galaxy, thousands of them are swelling and shrinking, brightening and dimming, on their long patient rhythms, some beating once every few days, some once a month, each one keeping perfect time, and each one has been keeping it for millions of years, and will keep it for millions more, whether anyone is watching or not. There is a slow, steady heartbeat scattered all through Andromeda. Let it be soothing. Let it be like the sound of someone breathing quietly in the next room. And there a long, faint river of stars, curving away through the halo above us. One of the ghost streams, the remains of a small galaxy taken in long ago. Follow it with your eye as it arcs across the dark, thin as smoke, made of 100,000 suns strung out along a path they have been following for billions of years, each one drifting alone, none of them aware that they were ever part of anything else. It is dissolving, slowly. In a few billion more years it will be gone, mixed in entirely, indistinguishable from the rest. Nothing lost. Only rearranged. And there, far below, in the disk, a faint flicker. Somewhere down in the rings, in this exact moment, a star is dying. Somewhere in a trillion stars, one has come to the end of its fuel and collapsed and blown itself apart, scattering its iron and its gold and its carbon across 100 light-years, seeding the dust that will one day make new suns and new worlds. It happens here, on average, every few decades. It has happened 100 million times in this galaxy already. And each one is the most violent event the universe knows how to make, and from here, at this distance, it is a small soft flicker in the dark, and then nothing, and the galaxy turns on, unchanged. That is the scale of this place. The most enormous thing that can happen to a star is, to a galaxy, a spark. Drift. Breathe. There is nothing to do here. Feel how far from home you are. 2.5 million light-years. It is not a distance you can feel, because nothing in you was built to feel it, but let yourself know it, softly, without trying to picture it. You are further from your bed than any living thing has ever been, or ever will be. And you are perfectly safe. There is nothing out here that can trouble you. The whole vast galaxy simply turns, and shines, and pays you no attention at all, and there is a great kindness in that. Nothing here wants anything from you. Nothing here needs you to be anything. You are a guest, and the only thing this place asks of you is that you drift, and look, and rest. Let your body grow heavier now. Let the bed take all your weight. Let your arms lie soft and still. Let the great golden wheel turn slowly around you, its trillion suns burning quietly in the silence, its dust lanes drifting dark and cold, its old red stars circling the great still heart, its ghost streams dissolving gently into the halo across the ages. All of it turning. All of it quiet. All of it perfectly content to go on turning whether you are awake to see it or not. You may let go now. The galaxy will keep turning. It does not need you to watch. And now, gently, it is time to begin the long way home. Let us rise, slowly, up out of the great disk, up through the thinning stars, up past the ancient globular clusters keeping their golden watch in the halo, up through the last faint outskirts of Andromeda, until once more the galaxy stops being a landscape and becomes an object, a vast glowing spiral below us, tilted, luminous, turning, growing slowly smaller as we drift away. Take one last look at it. You will never come back here. No one ever will. Let it be beautiful, one more time, the great rings of light, the dark rivers of dust winding between them, the golden heart, the trillion suns. 10 billion years of patient turning. All of it going on, quietly, forever, whether anyone is ever here to see it or not. Say goodbye. And turn for home. And now the emptiness again, the great gulf, the 25 galaxies worth of nothing, the deepest silence there is. But it does not feel the same going back. On the way out it was a crossing, now it is simply the long soft road home, and there is nothing left to do on it but drift, and grow heavier, and let go. So let go. Let everything you saw begin to soften and blur behind you. You do not need to keep any of it. The rings, the dust, the double heart, the old red stars in their slow ring, the ghost streams dissolving in the halo, let it all fade gently, like a dream does when you are not trying to hold onto it. It happened. It is enough that it happened. It will still be there, turning, whether you remember it or not. Andromeda is shrinking behind you now. A great spiral, then a small one, then a soft oval, then a pale ellipse, then a smudge, and then, at last, just a faint little blur, no brighter than a breath on cold glass, small enough to hide behind a fingertip. Exactly what it was when we began. Nothing about it has changed at all. Only you have changed, because now you know what it is. And ahead, growing, slowly, out of the dark, a small pale oval of light. Our own. The Milky Way. Home. 400 billion suns, waiting patiently exactly where we left them. Let the crossing be long. Let it be slow. Let every galaxy width of emptiness carry you a little further down towards sleep. There is nothing out here. Nothing at all. no sound, no light, no wind, nothing that has ever happened or ever will. Just the soft endless dark, and you, drifting through the middle of it, growing heavier with each breath, carried gently home. Breathe in. And out. And drift. The Milky Way is growing now. From a smudge to an oval, from an oval to a spiral, from a spiral to a great wheel of light, spreading out ahead of us until it fills the view, our own galaxy, our own stars, the familiar arms and dust lanes and the golden heart, all of it turning slowly, welcoming us back into the light. Down we sink, into the halo, past our own ancient globular clusters. Down through the thinning outer stars. Down into the crowded plain, where the stars grow thick and warm and familiar. And out along the arms, past the great glowing nurseries where our own new suns are being born, past the giant stars burning red and patient, past the little faithful red dwarfs, past all the near and quiet lights of our own neighborhood, out and out, toward the quiet suburbs, toward a small unremarkable yellow star in a modest spur of one modest arm, 2/3 of the way to the rim. Our sun growing out of the crowd. Ordinary. Faithful. Ours. And around it, a small blue world, turning slowly through the dark, exactly where we left it. Waiting. It never noticed we were gone. Down we fall, gently, and it grows, from a point of blue light, to a small bright bead, to a sphere, to a world. Blue and white and wrapped in slow rivers of cloud, glowing softly with its own kind light, the loveliest color in everything we crossed tonight. There is nothing like it in Andromeda. There is nothing like it anywhere we know. Down through the thin blue line of the air. Down into the warmth, into the atmosphere, into the great soft breathing shell that holds every breath ever taken. Down through the high quiet clouds. Down through the dark of the night side, where the little pools of golden light are gathering below, the towns, the roads, the sleeping lands. Down toward one country, and one town, and one street, and one roof. And down, at last, into your own quiet room. Warm, and dark, and still. Exactly as you left it. And down, softly, into your own body, lying just where it has lain all along, on the bed, on the pillow, heavy and warm and easy, breathing slowly, held by the soft and faithful earth. You are home. You went to another galaxy tonight, and you came back, and your body never moved at all. Lie here a moment and feel the smallness of the room. After all that, after the gulf, and the halo, and the trillion suns, and the great still dark at the heart of everything, there is something wonderful about a small warm room. 4 walls. A bed. A ceiling you cannot see in the dark. The whole universe is out there being enormous, and in here it is quiet, and close, and the right size for one person to rest in. That is the gift of coming back. The vastness is beautiful, but you cannot sleep in it. You can only sleep here, in the small warm dark, in a bed, on a turning world, with the covers over you. And the smudge is still up there. Right now, above the roof, above the clouds, above the thin blue air, that faint little blur of light is still hanging in the northern sky, exactly where it always is, pouring out its ancient light onto the roof of your house, onto the trees, onto the fields, onto everyone who is awake tonight and everyone who is asleep. It does not know you visited. It does not know you exist. It has simply been shining, patiently, for 10 billion years, and it will shine all night while you sleep, and it will still be there tomorrow, and the night after, and every night of your life. You can go and look at it whenever you like. On any clear dark night, you can walk outside and find that little smudge and know exactly what it is, 1 trillion suns, 2.5 million light-years away, coming slowly toward us, and you have been there. Most people never look. It has hung over every human being who ever lived, and almost none of them ever noticed it. But you know where it is now. That is a small, quiet thing to own for the rest of your life. And now let it be enough. Feel the weight of it now. Feel how heavy and how peaceful your body has become. Feel the bed beneath you, taking all of it, asking nothing. Feel the slow rise and fall of your own breathing, in and out, moving all on its own, as it has all night, as it will all night, without any help from you. And carry one gentle thought back with you from the whole long journey. You went to Andromeda tonight. And everything you found there, the trillion suns, the rings of light, the coal dust waiting to become worlds, the old red stars circling the great still dark, all of it is made of exactly the same things you are. The same handful of elements. The same hydrogen, made in the first minutes of the universe. The same carbon and oxygen and iron, forged in the hearts of dying stars and flung out across the dark. Andromeda is not made of anything strange. It is made of the same stuff as your hands. 2.5 million light-years apart, and the universe used the same recipe. It never had another one. Everything, everywhere, every star in every galaxy in all that endless dark, is built from the same small set of pieces, gathered in different arrangements. And in one arrangement, on one small world, in one modest arm of one ordinary galaxy, those pieces came together into something that could open its eyes, and look up, and see a faint smudge of light, and wonder what it was, and want to go there. That is you. That is the whole story. The universe made something that could look at itself from 2.5 million light-years away, without ever leaving its bed. And tonight it did. And now it is tired. And now it may rest. So let us rest. There is nothing left to see, and nothing left to do, and nowhere left to go. The journey is over. Let the pictures fade, gently, from behind your eyes, the galaxy, the rings, the dark, all of it softening now, growing dim, letting go of its edges, melting into the warm, quiet dark behind your eyelids. You do not need to hold any of it. Andromeda will go on turning without your watching. It has managed 10 billion years without you. It will manage tonight. Let your body grow heavy now, from the crown of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Let the softness spread. Begin at your brow, and let it smooth, and let it soften, all the small cares of the day melting away from it like frost in the morning sun. Let your eyes rest heavy behind their lids. Let your jaw loosen. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears and sink down, down, into the bed. Feel the heaviness flow down through your arms like warm, slow water, down through your elbows, your wrists, your hands, all the way to the very tips of your fingers, until your arms lie heavy and warm and utterly still. Feel your chest rise and fall, softly, all on its own, needing nothing from you. Let the heaviness flow down through your back, sinking into the bed, every muscle letting go one by one, softening, releasing, growing warm. Down through your hips. Down through your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, all the way to the tips of your toes. Your whole body heavy now. Your whole body still. Your whole body held. And far above the roof, beyond the thin blue air, the great universe keeps its watch, exactly as it has for all the long ages. The moon is drifting slowly across the sky, lifting the quiet tides. The sun is burning faithfully on the far side of the world, waiting for the morning. Our own galaxy is turning, 400 billion suns, one great slow wheel, and it will turn all night while you sleep. And 2.5 million light-years away, in the dark, Andromeda is turning too, a trillion suns, wheeling quietly through the emptiness, coming toward us at 400,000 kilometers an hour, patient, unhurried, for billion years from home. It will still be coming when you wake. It will still be coming when your children's children's children are dust. It is in no hurry at all. And neither, tonight, are you. There is nothing you must do. There is nowhere you must be. The whole vast cosmos is turning without your help, and it will still be turning in the morning. You may set every thought down now, the way you would set down a heavy pack at the end of a long day's walking. Set it down. You will not need it tonight. Breathe in, slowly. And breathe out. And with every breath out, sink a little deeper, a little heavier, a little further down into the warm and quiet dark, like a small stone settling softly to the floor of a still and peaceful sea, drifting down through the calm water, in no hurry at all, until it comes to rest at last on the soft sand at the bottom, and lies there, easy, and still, and at peace. Let yourself settle like that. Let yourself drift down, gently, to the quiet floor of sleep. Let us go through the body once more, slowly, and let each part of you set itself down. Your forehead. Let it be smooth. Let every small tension leave it, unhurried, the way warmth leaves a stone at evening. There is nothing to think about now. Every thought you had today can wait until morning, not one of them needs you tonight. Your eyes. Let them rest heavy and quiet behind their lids. They have been working all day. Let them stop. Let them be still and soft and dark. Your jaw. Let it loosen, and let your teeth part slightly, and let your tongue rest soft in your mouth. So much is held there without our ever noticing. Let it go now. Your throat, and your neck, and your shoulders. Let them drop. Let them widen. Let them sink down, away from your ears, down into the bed, heavy and warm. Your arms, from shoulder to fingertip. Let the warmth pour slowly down through them, like honey, like slow water, through the upper arm, the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the palm, and out through every finger, until your hands lie open and heavy and completely still. Your chest, rising and falling, all on its own. You do not have to breathe. It has been happening without you all your life, every moment, sleeping and waking. Let it happen now. Let it be slow and easy and deep, and let each breath out carry you a little further down. Your belly, soft. Your back, letting go, one small muscle at a time, spreading and settling into the bed. Your hips, heavy. Your legs, long and warm and loose. Your knees, your calves, your ankles. And your feet, all the way to the tips of your toes, heavy and warm and utterly at rest. Your whole body now, from crown to toes, heavy, warm, still, held. And nothing anywhere in you needs to do anything at all. Breathe in, and out, and sink. Now let the pictures come back one last time, softly, the way they come in a dream rather than the way they come when you are trying to see them. Let them be blurred at the edges. Let them drift. The faint smudge in the sky, on a cold clear night, that you could only see by looking slightly to one side of it. The blue world, turning, growing small below you. The great wheel of our galaxy, seen whole, 400 billion suns, turning slowly in the dark. The emptiness, the enormous, gentle, endless emptiness, and you drifting through the middle of it, unhurried, safe, held by nothing at all. The soft oval of light ahead, growing. Becoming rings. Becoming a place. The old stars in the halo, alone in the dark for 10 billion years. The golden globular clusters, blazing quietly. The great disk opening beneath you like an ocean of light. The dust lanes, dark and cold and full of everything that is still to come. The golden heart. The slow ring of red stars. the great still dark at the center of everything, holding a trillion suns in a wheel around it, patiently, for longer than the Earth has existed. And then the long way home, and the small pale smudge of our own galaxy growing slowly out of the dark, and the sun, and the blue world, and the roof, and the room, and the bed, and you. Let them all go now. Let them fade. You do not need to keep a single one. There is nothing left to do now but drift. So let us drift together, one last gentle while, through the soft dark, letting go a little more with every breath. If a thought should rise, let it float away, like a galaxy passing quietly in the night, growing smaller, and dimmer, and softer, until it fades into the dark and is gone. You need not follow it. You need not hold it. Let it drift on, and let yourself sink softly down. Breathe in, gently, and breathe out, and let go. Feel how heavy your body has become. How warm. How still. Every muscle soft. Every part of you resting. There is no effort left anywhere in you now. You are as still as the space between the galaxies, and as quiet, and as deep. The enormous piece of all that emptiness is in you now, and around you, holding you softly in the dark. Far out beyond the window, the stars are keeping their patient watch, as they have on every night that ever was. The same stars that shone on the first people who ever looked up and wondered what that little smudge of light might be. The same stars that will shine long after this night is forgotten by everyone. They are shining now, softly, over the roof, over the quiet town, over the whole turning world, and they ask nothing of you at all. Only that you rest beneath them, warm and safe, and let them keep their watch while you sleep. And the earth turns, slowly, carrying you gently through the night toward the morning, in no hurry whatsoever. And the moon drifts across the sky, lifting the far-off tides. And Andromeda is coming, patiently, for billion years away, and it will still be coming tomorrow, and the day after, and every day of your life, and there is nothing at all you need to do about it. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is calm. And there is nothing you need to do, nothing at all, but breathe, and rest, and drift, and sink, a little deeper now, into the soft and welcoming dark. And if your mind wants to wander, let it wander. It does not have to stay here with me. Let it drift wherever it likes, back to the rings, out into the emptiness, off into some half-dream that has nothing to do with galaxies at all. That is not a failure of resting. That is resting. That is exactly what falling asleep is, the mind slipping its moorings and floating off, a little at a time, until it is somewhere else entirely and you never notice the going. So let it go. Let it drift. Do not try to follow it, and do not try to call it back. And if it comes back to something from the day, some small worry, some unfinished thing, let that drift too. Look at it the way you looked at the stars tonight, from a very long way off, without needing to do anything about it. From 2.5 million light-years, nothing that happened today has any size at all. Not because it does not matter, but because you are very tired, and it is night, and it can wait. Everything can wait. That is what night is for. The whole world agreed on this a long time ago. For a few hours, everything stops, and nothing gets solved, and that is allowed. Breathe in. And out. And let it all wait. Feel the bed under you again. Feel the weight of the covers. Feel the warmth. Feel how completely you are held, how little you have to do, how nothing at all is asked of you right now except to lie here and breathe. Your body knows how to do this. It has done it every night of your life, thousands of times, without ever once needing instructions. It knows the way down. You do not have to find it. You only have to stop holding on, and it will take you. So stop holding on. Just a little more. Just let go of the last small thread of the day, and let yourself fall the rest of the way. Let the darkness be kind to you. It is the same darkness we crossed tonight, the deep gentle dark between the galaxies, the softest, safest, quietest place there is. There is nothing in it to fear. It is warm, and it is endless, and it is yours to rest in all through the long night. Let it fold around you. Let it carry you down. Breathe in. And breathe out. Slower now. Softer now. Each breath a little quieter than the last. Each one carrying you a little further down, into the warm dark, into the stillness, into sleep. There is no distance left to cross tonight. No galaxy left to reach. No light left to follow. You have gone as far as anyone has ever gone, and you have come all the way home, and you are here, and you are held, and there is nothing left but rest. Drift now. Sink now. Down through the soft quiet dark, gently, in no hurry at all. The journey is over. The long way home is behind you. There is only this, the warm bed, the slow breath, the deep and gentle dark, and sleep, rising up to meet you softly, the way the tide rises to meet the shore. Let it take you. Let it carry you down. Let it hold you, all through the night. And if you are still awake, and it is quite all right if you are, then simply let the drifting go on. There is no hurry. Sleep comes when it comes, and it never comes any faster for being waited on. So do not wait for it. Just drift, and let it find you when it is ready. Let each breath out be a little longer than the one before. Not forced. Just allowed. Breathe in, gently, and let it go, slowly, and feel your body settle another small amount into the bed, as though you were sinking very slowly through something warm and soft and endless. And again. In. And out. And down. Think of the emptiness we crossed. All that dark. All that quiet. Not one sound in 2.5 million light years. Not one thing happening anywhere in all that space. Let your mind be like that for a while, not empty in a cold way, but empty in a restful way, with plenty of room in it, and nothing needing to happen, and no one asking anything of you at all. If a thought arrives, that is fine. Let it be a distant star, drifting slowly past, minding its own business. You do not have to go to it. You do not have to do anything about it. Let it drift on by, and let it grow small behind you, and let it go. Think of the old red stars in Andromeda's halo, alone in the dark for 10 billion years, in no hurry at all, burning quietly, asking nothing, going nowhere. They are still doing it, right now, while you lie here. They will still be doing it when you wake. There is no urgency anywhere in the universe. There never was. We invented it, and we can put it down at night. Put it down now. And think of the great slow ring of stars at Andromeda's heart, sweeping around the dark center, taking hundreds of thousands of years to make one turn, and how they slow down at the far end, and gather there, and linger. Even the stars pile up in the quiet part of the curve and take their time. Even they slow down. Let yourself slow down. Let yourself linger at the far end of the day, where things gather and go quiet and stop. And think of the galaxies falling together, ours and Andromeda's, across 4 billion years, at 400,000 kilometers an hour, and how, from any distance at all, that furious speed looks like perfect stillness. Two great lights hanging motionless in the dark. Everything is moving. Everything looks still. Both are true. You are moving too, right now. The Earth is turning beneath you at 1,000 kilometers an hour. It is sweeping around the Sun at 30 kilometers a second. The sun is carrying you around the galaxy at 200. The galaxy is falling toward Andromeda, and the whole local group is streaming through the deeper dark at hundreds more. You are, at this very moment, hurtling through space faster than anything you could imagine, in half a dozen directions at once. And you feel none of it. You feel only the bed, and the pillow, and the warmth, and the slow easy rise and fall of your own breathing. That is what the universe is like. Enormous motion, perfect stillness, at the same time, always. You are being carried at unthinkable speed through an unthinkable dark, and it feels exactly like lying still in a warm bed in a quiet room. It always has. Every night of your life. So let yourself be carried. You do not have to steer. Nothing is asking you to. The whole thing has been running perfectly well without your attention for 13 billion years, and it will run perfectly well tonight, and be exactly where it should be in the morning. Rest now. Rest. There is nothing more to see, and nothing more to do, and nowhere else to be. Only here. Only now. Only the soft dark, and the quiet, and your own slow breathing, growing softer, and slower, and further away. And let the last of it go now. All of it. The whole journey. Let go of the smudge in the sky. Let go of the blue world turning below you. Let go of the great wheel of our galaxy, and the emptiness, and the long crossing, and the first star of another galaxy separating out of the haze. Let go of the halo, and the old red stars, and the golden clusters. Let go of the rings, and the cold dark dust, and the nurseries burning quietly in the arms. Let go of the crowded golden heart, and the slow ring of stars, and the great still dark at the center of everything. Let go of the merger, for billion years away. Let go of the future, and the past, and the light that took 2.5 million years to find you. None of it needs holding. None of it ever did. Let go of today, as well. Whatever it was. Whatever was said, whatever was left undone, whatever is waiting tomorrow. Set it all down. It will all still be there in the morning, and you will be better able to carry it then, and none of it, not one single piece of it, needs you tonight. There is nothing left in your hands now. Nothing left to hold. Feel how light that is. Feel how much room there is in you. Breathe in. And out. And sink a little further. You are lying in a warm bed, in a quiet room, on a small blue world, in a modest arm of an ordinary galaxy, in a small family of galaxies, drifting through an endless gentle dark. And every single part of that is holding you. The bed. The room. The world. The sun. The galaxy. The great invisible ocean that keeps it all from flying apart. All of it, arranged just so, for 13 billion years, so that tonight there could be a warm dark room with someone breathing slowly in it. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs fixing tonight. Somewhere out in the dark, a trillion suns are turning, quietly, in a great wheel of light, and they will turn all night, and they do not need you to watch. Sleep now. Drift, and sink, and sleep. And let the great quiet universe keep its gentle watch over you, all through the long and peaceful night, until the morning comes again. Sleep now. You are safe. You are held. You are home. And all is well. And all is quiet. And all is calm. Rest, and drift, and sleep.